Episode 13, Unlucky for My Beard. Hello and welcome to the Tactics Board. First off, apologies for this horrible shine over this side of the screen. I'm filming it in the evening and frankly I'm not going to have time to do it tomorrow morning. So today we're going to look at two elements of what Down did against Donegal. One thing they did rather well, and the other thing, it started great but it didn't. And of course this is the last one with the beard, so say your goodbyes and all that. First off, Down are in blue, Donegal are in white. Let's ignore the fact that these colours have no relation to what they actually did. The important part is that this is Mr. McKernan here. Now, Donegal, when they crossed the 45, typically I always write about how Donegal really like to control this area. Down gave them a great fight here today. I would have called it a draw, split decision if you're going into this judging in combat sports, and frankly I wouldn't know which way it would have gone. So when Donegal crossed the 45, quite often they had to come up against this sort of five-man bank Down roughly had. Typically Donegal's players back here were being covered. That's why you haven't got them down here. The point is Donegal didn't have options quickly available. The man had to cross. Now when he crossed, what did Down do? Immediately two men would engage. It wouldn't matter if it was coming from the middle, from the side, or of course from this side either. The point was Down were always looking to bring two men in and option to get a third, usually to sweep McKernan, and to really just force him into a situation where a turnover was likely. Quite often Down are able to force travelling fouls against Donegal, something we haven't seen too much really from teams doing Donegal. They don't get called for travelling much, and it's not because referees are that soft, it's because teams frankly just can't dispossess them fast enough. So it's a great job by Down. Now they were stepping up the whole time, so you're thinking there's a gap in here. The problem was Down were playing so many men deep that Donegal simply didn't have an option to get a man open. It was always going to be a cover man there. So that's why really those magnets are irrelevant. We don't need them. Down had the situation covered. Donegal weren't getting their supporting attackers up. Man was isolated. And it was a really good job Down did. It was particularly noticeable in the first half when Down had the wins at their backs, and so it was a bit slower from Donegal going forward. Now normally you've bad editing at this point, but frankly I don't want my beard to have a single second off screen during this video. So we're just going to replace the magnets as we go. And we're going to again just look at four Down players. And again, Mr. McKernan is one of them. So Down would bring players forward, obviously, once they got the ball into midfield. Now, they were very good at one aspect, which was getting their own men in position to attack. Actually, going to put a fifth Down man in here, sorry. And this is the downside of it. So Down, they'd have guys transitioning in their half forwards and usually McKernan as well. And the idea was get them forward and get to the corner forwards. The problem here is that we obviously have the half forwards back here, the corner forwards up here are trying to drop back. Often Laverty would as well. So we'd have Laverty back there as well. He'd be possibly coming out, but really there wasn't anything coming. So what did Down actually need here to make the difference? They needed transitioning attackers coming in through the channels here up the flanks. They needed players getting ahead of possession in order to give supporting options. This obviously meant committing fewer men from defence, but the key part was really having options available for the attackers when they got into the half. Now, obviously this is about speed, but it's also about patience. Down are really good at controlling the ball in across this area, but what they weren't good at doing was getting the supporting defenders to acknowledge, we have possession, we got it controlled, let's try and get up and support the attackers. This would have given options to Down to get it up into the forwards. It was succeeding at least in making the McGee stay at home, because Donegal weren't getting as many of those transitional runs as they usually do, but Down just weren't doing that. We weren't seeing the half-backs, we weren't seeing the cornerbacks, they just weren't making those pushing runs upfield with enough frequency. There was one or two shots from them, but it just wasn't common enough, and it was usually behind the play. They needed to get ahead of the play when it happened. And that's one of the reasons Down really couldn't get that many shots off. They had 19 shots in the game, very few from in front of the goal, as you might have seen in my column in this match. And that was a crucial part to stunning their attack, because everything up to the 45 in terms of their attack was great. It's when they crossed is when they really got into trouble. And that's the end of this episode of Tactics Board, and the end of the episodes with the beard. It'll be getting shaved once the Stanley Cup has been won. And for now, I've been Emmet Ryan, my face in the corner, beardless, and subscribe. Thank you.